to not touch it and not touch his face. That is so weird.
That happens sometimes.
Oh no, I
do
was
that.
meant to send that to. I meant to send that to Mike.
Whoops.
Oh well.
Well, I guess you're confusing Brian and I with Mike now. Like, we've made a step up. We're no longer Ken dolls, buddy.
Clearly.
Thank God. Anything's better than being a sexless Ken doll. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You're still kind of sexless.
Well, Ryan Gosling made being Ken kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
There you go.
Did you see it?
Winning? No, of course not.
It's so good. Like, he's so good in it. It's unbelievable.
Of course he is. When is he ever not good though?
Here's the real is Gosling's a song and dance man. Like, he's a throwback to like the Fred Astaire's of the world. Like, this man loves to sing and dance. Like, I was watching La La Land yesterday. I was like, God, he loves to perform. He's a showman.
Indeed. Agreed.
Much like our genie being a showman.
He really is a showman.
Showmanship.
He looked like he could have been in The Greatest Showman.
He's like costume. A one-man show. Doesn't even need anybody else.
Well, I mean, so much to unpack here. French Stewart, my God. Well, let's just dive right in, shall we? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the House of Halliwell. It has been a second, so we appreciate you hanging tight while we get ducks and certain things in order. Ducks in a row. So this is season 2.
Drew said I could have ducks, people. I don't know why he's okay with ducks and not goats, but we'll discuss it later at a later date.
I think we could discuss it now. Ducks are way cooler than goats. Did you see that post I sent you with all those cute ducks and the dog?
Yes, and you know who liked it? The first person who pops up, Greg Vaughn. Speaking of, poor Greg Vaughn.
Oh,
this episode is not kind to Greg Vaughn.
My guy took a lot of L's this episode.
My guy.
Well, let's just tell the people. First of all, this is Shannen Doherty's first. Is this her directorial debut?
I believe so. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, directorial debut, and I mean, she killed it, I think.
Actually, she's the reason I was late to record today, because she's like, call me. No other explanation. And then I sit and I call her 3 times and she doesn't pick up. Not unlike my children. So she's probably going to call back while I'm recording. And I'm going to be like, so explain the Flying Nun episode in your own words.
Yeah, we can get some audio. I'd love some hot takes. Make sure we...
Explain yourself, woman.
Explain yourself. How can we make it better?
How did you read this script and be like, yeah, I want to direct that one?
So I'm going to start.
She was just excited that she got to have the techno crane because there was flying nuns involved.
I would have been panicked if this was the script. Like, hey, Drew, we're giving you your first episode to direct. And then I'm so excited and they hand it to me and I read it. I'd be like,
no, gracias. No, gracias. No.
Like, no. No, I don't want to do this.
Hard no. It was a little bit of a mess.
Can we start with just initial hot takes? BK, why don't you kick us off?
Hated it.
Say
it, BK.
No, something I had to go back and review it again, but you notice at the very beginning in the what do they call the guys in the circle?
They're not the triad yet. What
the
are
golden
they?
triad? The golden quadrilateral?
I saw their gold outfits and it just, I flash forwarded myself wearing something like that.
And you were wondering, was it upcycled? Was it recycled?
Yeah, I was wondering
where they got it from.
Did they just not get rid of the material? I mean, we're talking years later.
No, dude, that you literally got a hand-me-down. You wore those golden robes 100. They didn't. It's not like they threw them away later and then got a new one. They just were like, oh, we kept it. Let's pull that back and bring it back around.
Nobody will remember this one.
So What else were your hot initial takes watching this thing?
Man, I love French Stewart. He's was on one of my favorite shows ever, and he's speaking of performers and out there. He's always great energy and so funny, and that was my first take. I liked him as the genie a lot. I remember
Absolutely.
being nervous around him, and my character didn't interact a lot, but I was like, oh.
What was your favorite show? What did you love him on?
I was trying to be funny. I wanted to be funny.
He makes you want to be funny. I just let him be the funny. You do the funny, you.
So what was it like? Because both of you guys had scenes with him. So what was it like working with him?
Well, he's super high energy, clearly, which helps. And it helps, like I said a million times, when guest stars are invested in their roles and they are not a fraud. Not a fraud. Not a fraught.
They're a fraught.
They're a fraught. Not afraid to act silly with us. It just makes it so much easier. And he brought some of the drama too towards the end. I appreciated that. Between him and 17-year-old Prue directing herself, it was all sorts of. It was a 3-ring circus.
Yeah. And
would she wear the braces off camera?
Oh, hell yes. She was method acting. She was method acting. No, she just didn't have time. She didn't have time to do anything else. But what I did like about her directing is that I got to direct her performances because she couldn't direct herself. Ha-ha.
Anything that I've ever been in that I'm directing, it's always good to have someone there that you trust, like with your acting. Absolutely. So you cannot have to, because there's just too many things that you're thinking about. And the last thing you want to know is like, do I need to go again? And so the fact that she could probably look across to you and you give her the thumbs up or like, you're going again. How many times did you make her go again?
Not many.
She's a professional. She's a professional. She doesn't need to go more than once or twice.
No, darling. No.
A fraught. So BK, do you have any, like, do you remember, like, I know you said you kind of loved him and he was on one of your favorite shows. Like when you were working with him, did anything jump out specifically about his process or anything for you?
Staying in the background myself is still just trying to show up and, not suck off camera. Right. So, watch his process. No. But just watch. And something I noticed about Leo, like I'm so quiet, like, it's two totally different worlds. You have this guy who's, not afraid to say something any way he wants. He's loose, and I'm over there like, oh, don't talk too loud. Like,
and then you're suspiciously absent again whenever we really need you.
That's part of his charm.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it?
It really is.
Leo put the charm in charm.
Literally. I mean, Piper really likes the unavailable men.
Yeah.
Not just emotionally, but actually physically unavailable.
They don't call them cliches for nothing, people. But it's true. But BK, you actually hit on something that I was going to touch on as well. Like French feels, and I never watched 30 Rock, so I don't have a reference like you do. And I know that was a massive show, but he feels so free in every single line delivery. It's like, it's wild. It's like, how do you even make that choice? It's like, he seems like to respond to whatever feels like the moment calls for. And sometimes his voice inflections, and then he does these things. And like, he's clearly having a blast. And just because a genie is mischievous by nature, he's kind of given himself permission and freedom to kind of act and behave however he wants. But then you also see the craft at work, because like in that scene specifically with Alyssa, he pulls it back when he's giving her a massage, and he's like, and she's, was that improv?
Are we talking about the broken ankle that Leo
she's like,
cannot heal?
Where'd you learn how to do that? And he's like, a sultan. But he's very grounded in that scene, and he's talking about like things that he would wish for. It's the little things. And so he has this beautiful ability to go big and kind of weird and very kooky and quirky.
I mean, Third Rock from the Sun with John, he's there with John Lithgow.
Amazing actor.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And, they were aliens that tried to,
be human?
Assimilate to a real world. Yeah. And they found the simplest thing. They're like, why do humans do this? And, they were...
Sounds like a Seinfeld or a Curb episode.
Basically.
Yeah, so the genie fits in almost that same character. Sure. So I was excited.
Okay. So like that's your initial thoughts, French Stewart.
He was,
HMC,
he was a joy. He was a joy to be around, and he does actually, like I said, have that much energy.
Let's talk about Shannon directing you two specifically, because this is your coworker, and now she's kind of, I mean, she's always a boss, but now she's like in charge of, like, what's her process like? What was it like for you guys to all of a sudden switch from like, hey, I'm acting opposite with you, now I'm watching you kind of cook and work in a completely different way? Like, what was that like for both of you?
Well, she was already really close with the crew and definitely had the crew's respect. So they supported her greatly in her endeavor. But she did want all the toys. She wanted the big cranes. She wanted everything she could possibly get away with. And being a season finale, it had a bit bigger budget than the rest of them. But so she was having fun. She was in her element. She likes being able to answer all the questions, which I would think would be the worst part of being a director, is just all the questions from all the different departments, and you have to have the right answer in a timely manner and wrap in a timely manner, which is what she's really good at, is wrapping early.
Right.
And some would accuse her of wrapping too early.
Since no one ever, the only person who's like notoriously famous for doing stuff like that is Clint Eastwood. Like, really? He comes in under budget. That's probably where she
got it from.
And like 3 weeks early, under budget. He's like, yeah, we're done. But he really only gives people 1 or 2 takes max.
Yeah, Shannon too. Unless it's me, then she's like, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again with
I can't believe you didn't make her do more than 2 takes.
No. I mean, no. Only if she made a mistake. Only if it was like a technical mistake.
Right. So was it pretty like for you guys being directed by her, was it just pretty seamless, business as usual, like whatever?
Yeah, I'd say so. It wasn't anything abrupt. There wasn't an abrupt change. She's always given Brian a hard time, so he's used to it.
It.
Yeah, man. What was it like being directed by her?
It's all the respect in the world, because it's like, what a position. I think she was probably the first actor I had ever known or met that got an opportunity to jump to the other side of the camera, and not being on their own little indie movie and with their friends up in the Hollywood Hills. Right. This was legitimate from the network, allowing Shannon Doherty to do it. So you want to show up, you want to be there, you want to have her back and not mess up. So, I was nervous again. Leo was always a nervous wreck, and that's why I had to orb out all the time. That's what I'm saying.
I love that you're taking ownership of this, because that's interesting. I've found that a lot of the actors that I've worked with who've kind of ultimately made the switch to at least episodic directing, they're always really great from an actor standpoint. Like, they know exactly what the process is. They know what you're going through. They know how to give you the right kind of note. Versus, like, there are a lot of technical directors out there that really don't even know how to kind of talk to actors. So I found that, like, I enjoy working with.
Yeah, I like that flavor too.
It's a good flavor. I was in an acting class once, and one of my classmates. Whoa!
The ghosts are getting nutty in here. Calm down.
Wow, Piper, pipe down. Mark Forrester, who directed Monsters Ball, he was in my acting class, and I had asked him, I'm like, so dude, what are you doing in here? And he's participating in the scene study and all the exercises and stuff. And it was like a 3-month commitment, and he was there every time, showed up, really cool. And he said, like, look, I want to learn how to better communicate to my actors. And he's like, he's like, that's a big weakness for me. And so I want to understand their process more, so I'm able to communicate and say things that will actually trigger a response.
Oh, here she comes.
Yes, put her on. Special guest.
What are you doing?
Which episode?
Your first episode that you ever directed in life.
I hated that episode.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
I hated that episode.
What, pray tell, did you hate?
I should have been literally on the show with you discussing this.
You're on right now. Tell her.
Because the flying thing
Yeah.
looks so bad. Like
Yeah.
the special effects were so bad.
Yeah.
And the way that they forced me to like have her in the air flying,
Yeah.
it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look good.
No.
It's incredibly disappointing. And considering who our guest star was, like that episode should have been great.
I know. French was a one-man show, we were just saying. But yeah, there was no controlling how the flying would look. There was no getting ahead of that. I talked about it and I was like, I wish they had done it just like more like Lost Boys, where you don't really see them flying. You just see like the motion of flying. But I guess
Right.
they wanted the ridiculousness part of it as well.
What would she do differently? Ask her what she'd do differently.
I can't remember. What was the other storyline besides her flying?
You turning 17.
Braces.
Remember, you had the braces, you were dating, and
Oh my God.
yeah, and it was the genie. It was French being the genie, and you wish something like
You wish for for love to feel like the first time again.
For love to
Yeah.
feel like, you did when you were young, the first time.
Right.
When you have braces.
When you had braces.
Yeah, I
17
don't think
years
I
old.
like that entire episode.
You're like, yeah, no.
Wait,
No
we
chance.
asked-
I remember when I read the script and they're like, okay, you can direct this one. I remember saying to myself, like reading it and being like, oh, they did this on purpose.
They give you something impossible.
Yeah, I just felt like I really honestly did feel like they did it on purpose. I was like, they're setting me up to fail is all that I could think when I read that episode.
Right. Yeah, there was no really pulling it off. Not in that day and age. The Flying Nun and this one is up there in the aerial aerobatics.
Will you ask her? Drew wants to know what she would have done differently.
Drew wants to know what you would have done differently.
I would have refused to direct that episode.
You would have been like, I'll see you guys next year.
I would have been like, no, give me a different episode. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want this one.
I don't want this episode either.
Yeah, that would not have been my choice. But had I been forced, I guess I probably would have requested that we didn't actually see her flying, just like you suggested with like Lost Boys. Because that's the one thing that really sticks out in my mind of, and I didn't really get like the budget that I asked for. Remember that they gave me like a tiny little helicopter with like a little crappy camera in it to like, follow her along and do some tracking shots and do some shots where it's from her POV.
Mm-hmm.
But even that wasn't good enough. Like I was on a restricted budget and it looked as bad as anything could possibly
As it felt. It looked as bad as it felt.
Yeah.
You did get the techno crane though. You did get all your cranes. You did get some toys.
No, that was the last episode.
Wait, ask her. Hey, Holly, ask her like, did she fall in love with it immediately?
I can actually be on the podcast and talk to you guys about how I got all my equipment. Was that I guaranteed that if I went over, because I was over budget with the equipment.
Right.
So I said, if I'm still over budget by the time I'm done filming, I will pay every time I'm over budget.
I remember that. And that's how we wrapped so early. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the deal? Like, how did she always wrap so early? Like, what?
Drew wants to know the secret to your wrapping so early.
Efficiency.
Knowing what you want helps.
It's called a shot list.
Yeah.
First off, when you're doing TV, I think you have to have a shot list.
Okay.
If you want to be done quickly, and multiple cameras. So I think I had minimum of 2 cameras, but most of the time I had 3 cameras working. So
Did you guys always have 3 cameras?
A master, grab a 2-shot, grab a close-up, all at the same time.
Right.
And then I could just turn around. And it was also forcing actors to do the blocking that works for camera, not what works for them. And also because I had a crew that was incredibly supportive and worked their tails off when I was directing. And I had the best DP in the TV game. I had Rick.
Yeah. And you worked with Rick on 90210 too.
Yeah. And I had storyboards. I had a storyboard artist come in. So
Ooh.
everything was storyboarded.
So helpful.
gave copies of the storyboards to Rick, my first AD, which was always Derek, script supervisor, and the camera operators. Everybody had a copy of storyboard and shot list. So everyone, first thing in the morning or the night before work, so everybody knew exactly what we were doing for the day. And I did not deviate.
See, she does her homework and then she's over prepared.
I love that so much. I'm falling more in love with her by the second. Wait, ask her, what was it like directing herself?
Drew wants to know what it's like to direct yourself. I told him that you let me direct you, but you don't take direction very well. You're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. You were like, you should do another take. I'm like, nope, moving on.
Moving on, folks.
I'm on a schedule.
Checking the gate.
It's hard because I found myself, except for the last episode, the other 2 episodes, I found myself constantly like looking down to make sure everybody had hit their marks, to make sure like that everything was going as planned.
Well, you do that when you're not directing too.
That's true. I'm very much like, can you just not hit your mark?
Can you not see that there?
Like, it's right there. It's a big T. Like, all you have to do is count your steps and then repeat it. Like, it's super simple.
That's why I go with fluorescent hot pink for my marks always on set.
It was a little awkward at times, but by the 3rd episode I directed, I was better at it.
Yeah. Totally.
And it's also, then I learned to like trust their people's, like there were a few people who would be behind the monitor watching that would give me certain looks that I knew like, okay, I needed to do another take. But that last episode, like with you, like you and I had so much emotional stuff.
Yeah.
That like I had to be in the moment. I couldn't, in those scenes, I could not be a director. I had to just be your sister.
Right. Good time.
What else does Drew want to know?
Drew he's professing his love for you again. Now he's more in love with you. It's getting weird. It's getting really weird in here. He said she said it's mutual.
Yes.
Oh dear.
You're your sister. It's so weird. Is Kraus there?
Kraus is there.
We hear you. Tell her where she's on.
No, see, I have headphones on. They can hear you, but you can't hear them, which is probably better.
Well, yeah. I want to know what Kraus felt about being directed by me. Was it terrible?
Go.
Tell her what I said.
Well, PK, like,
I was terrified.
He says he was terrified.
No, I mean, like what I had already said is,
all episodes or just the first one?
Were you intimidated, or were you afraid of making a mistake and disappointing her forever?
That's the latter, the second.
He was afraid of disappointing you.
Oh.
No, I'm so proud of you. Are you kidding? You were the first actor that I ever met that got to direct television.
Awesome
it's amazing.
Job, so I was always happy, and he hit his mark.
Yeah, and he said that you were like the first actor that we knew inherently that was directing, so he was very proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Alrighty, let me call you back in about 15 minutes. Bye.
Holy shit. Christmas came early, everyone.
That was awesome.
That is fucking incredible. This made it all worth it. The last, I'm beaming because she's like, I'm like short circuiting.
You had like 20 questions in like a flash.
Don't ever put us in the same room together.
Speed round for directing. How did you do this? How did you feel about this? How did you do this? What did you have?
What did you think about that shot? Yeah.
Ooh,
well, look, she's so good at it, right? And she's such a good actor. And the fact that she was able to, like, I actually got to, a couple of years ago, I was on set for something that she was directing, like a kind of a pilot presentation, like to get her to watch her work, but then to come and see this first initial thing. It's amazing. And like you said, BK, it's like, this isn't something that is given to a lot of actors. And so the fact that this was given to her and she excelled at it and actually ended up doing multiple more, I think
especially 25 years ago.
Yes.
They weren't jobs to women, that's for sure.
Yep.
So
there was that part too. But I've heard we weren't feminist enough, so we're still working on it.
Yeah.
And it came down to, she's more than capable.
Yeah.
More than capable and talented.
I think she set out to prove that and did.
Absolutely.
Effortlessly. Pretty effortlessly.
And it makes you nervous when you're on the set. Like, I better kick ass. I only get one take. Oh my God, she's looking at me.
One take.
I'm on my mark.
One take only.
I'm on it.
That's so funny, dude. Like, you'd be worried about that. I'm more worried of like, well, does she want to go out to dinner with me?
Not if you don't hit
No.
the mark.
Hell no.
But dude, that's what I'm telling you.
I can see her like looking. I can remember seeing her like looking from behind the camera like this to see if like you're on it, and I'm like, dude, I can see you. I can see you doing that.
That's so funny. But for real, that's why I use the because actors get these marks, right? There's like gaffer's tape that one of the the second AC rolls around with. Is it the second AC? And it's like it's on a rope, and there's like Technicolor. There's 50 colors, and at the beginning of a show or a season, usually once it starts at the season, you're kind of that color forever. But you're assigned a color, and they come up and ask like, "Hey, what color do you want to be?" And I've always been like, "Give me hot fluorescent pink," because you cannot miss that mark. If you see hot fluorescent pink on the ground, no matter what it is, you're never missing it.
I think I was always light blue.
Yep, I remember. BK, were you yellow?
I think I was orange on
green.
Pretty Little Liars.
In the yellow family.
Orange.
I see a lot of orange in my life, so it must have been that show.
Speaking of orange, it's spooky season, people.
Spooky season. Get your witch on.
Get your witch on. Get your witch on.
You should see decorations in my neighborhood already.
Really?
Out of control.
I kicked someone off the group chat for posting a photo at a costume party in September. Just an FYI. I love spooky season just as much as everyone else does, who like their pumpkin spice and all the other things. That being said, not a costume party in September.
Hey, the fall equinox fell in September, as it does, right? So it's a welcome to fall party, perhaps. Wasn't there a supermoon, a super blue moon?
For Halloween this year? Yeah, there is a whole thing going on.
And we get a Friday the 13th.
True.
All right, well, let's kind of wrap this up because real fast, guys, what we did was we had a watch party with 3 of our close friends, the Plaza sisters, who had some real hot takes for us about not only this episode, but how they came about being like the real life Halliwell sisters, possibly.
The sisters 3.
There are 3 of them. And so we watched the episode finale, all of us together. And then what you'll hear after this is a kind of an in-depth Q&A about just all things life. Like, Holly, did you get a Ferrari at your rap party for season 3?
No, I should have.
It's the 90s. I don't know who told her stuff like that, but she believed it.
She bought the dream.
She did. That's why she became an actress. She was waiting for the Ferrari.
Yep, she bought it.
Yeah, purple Lambo.
Oh my God.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Well, before we kick it over to group chat with all of us, is there anything else that we kind of want to touch base here with this episode specifically?
Did we keep our ratings? Because I don't remember my rating.
No, we didn't. No, that's out. So we should rate the episode, but also like anything else. Do we talk about the bad guy? Do we talk about this evil triad thing real fast? I mean, he's wearing a sleeveless tank top with leather pants and a Caesar haircut with a British accent.
That says evil.
It does.
Wow. It is evil.
It was very evil.
That's evil incarnate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But wait, we do have, before we give it a thing, we need to talk about Handsome for a second, because you two like sit him down and you break it to him, and it's pretty ugly. I mean, not only is his makeup is gnarly, but
it's like, look, you were wondering what my deal was this whole time. You got a little close.
Poor guy.
You're going out.
Poor guy.
I mean, it was kind of a jerk move. Like, hey, you've been wondering what my secret is, bro. Well, this is it.
I mean,
and like,
kind of a dick.
And I love, like, Holly, very true to your character throughout this whole season and series thus far. you have so much love and compassion and empathy for him, and you just want it to be okay. And I understand. I think you really did. So much of this episode specifically for me was about balance, right? Like at the beginning, Prue's talking about how she needs to learn how to balance her love life and her, this demon hunting thing. Phoebe's kind of complaining about how her whole life has become more about this, and like, is she hitting some sort of demon quota? You have talked about it up to this point in multiple episodes about really trying to find and strike balance, which I think is a theme that we can all relate to in real life about, work and love and family and me time and,
I don't
all
have
the
that.
well, you do the best you can considering you run a farm, literally and metaphorically and metaphysically.
And a restaurant this week because Mike is yet again out of town.
Yes.
How dare he?
How dare he? How dare you, Mike? Is that why you called me last night?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that this idea of searching for balance, I like that this is a theme that keeps coming up, and I think it's really important that it's touched upon. But I like how selfless you were. As sad as it is to see Dan go, and hopefully we gonna get him on as a goodbye. I like that you used this kind of, you had a redo with Wishes, that you used it to really completely be selfless and help him be able to move on and forget.
It was the least she could do.
Yeah.
For reals. I mean, she ruined the guy's life, past, present, future, all of it.
True. And I also like that you called, by the way, this is a good episode for Baby, because there was no real sweater set fantasy happening, but you did call Leo out too on like, hey dude, like, who are you? Where do you go? You've been watching me my whole life. The more I think about this, by the way, it's kind of it's a V creep.
Super creepy.
So creepy. But like, you guys are all flipping about it and just constantly now vocalizing it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yes, it's this known thing. Yes, I actually do watch you all the time. That being said, the fact that you guys that you called him out and like, what do you do? Where do you live? Do you sleep? What do you eat? Like, and then you at the end, like the way the show ends, as everyone knows, you take me to your people, which is really funny and cool, and also right on. Enough's enough.
I mean, it's the least he could do after ruining her life.
Well, you guys are in love.
Oh,
must be nice.
That's right. I forgot we have children to have.
So I mean, we did ride off into the heavens.
You did ride off into the heavens. And
so
by the way, this is 2 seasons in a row where Prue shuts the door.
It's a thing.
Well, I know I shut the door, and I remember
shut the front door.
I remember I shut the front door in season, whatever my season was, my first thing, and everyone was like, "What? You shut the door?" Like, I remember people like flipping out of them, like, "What's the big deal? I shut the door."
It's a big deal.
It's a deal.
It's a thing.
So what do we rate this episode? Outside of like love bombing Shannon for her directorial debut, you guys for being fucking wonderful. I actually hated the episode. This is one of my least favorite apps. I thought it was not great.
Like Shannon said, it was sabotage, saboteurs everywhere.
I'm gonna give it like a 5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got chilly in here.
I give it a 5 just because, like, I didn't think French was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, individually, the sum doesn't equal the parts. How about that?
Sure.
Like, individually, French's performance is a 10. Like, he's really good. I thought you guys and your dynamic with Handsome was great. Shannon directing and also kind of like the comic relief of being a 17-year-old was fine. It was good. But like
Phoebe's
when you put it all together,
you're not buying.
Yeah, Phoebe's fake injury. When you just put it all together, I was like, So 5 for me.
Fell a little flat for sure. The flying nun didn't help matters whatsoever.
No, it did not.
It was a successful season, so I think that's why I'm fond of it. It's a tough one. There's so many
Just
drawbacks.
this episode alone, because we have a season 2 recap coming for all.
Fine.
Right.
6? She's gonna say 6. I knew it.
Yeah,
6.
I feel the pressure.
Yeah,
that
I don't
No,
think
if you like it, buddy, you
Hey,
can
if you
be.
enjoyed it, if you liked French that much,
Okay, so you give it like an 8. What is it?
a 7.
Well, I mean, just like you said, like, you know, you got Friends. I mean, he's doing. It's hard to take your eyes off him when he's doing his thing, you know. But yeah, storyline, the Flying Nun, it
it's a no for me, dog.
you know, it doesn't move as a show. Like you said, a lot of great parts, but all in all, not great cinema. So I don't know if I go as low as 6. So I'm a 6.5.
Buddy, I know you want. You want to give this an 8. You want to give this an 8. Fucking give it an 8. I know you. I see it on your face.
No, 7.
It's not an 8.
That's all you get.
Yeah, I didn't like myself.
Oh God,
That's
Not
a drawback.
That again. No, that again.
Yeah,
You were great. You were great.
the camera movements are great, but then it became a game show when you had the Flying Nun. It's just like, what are we doing here? like, Charm, come back next season. I'm like, what are we? What?
We literally jumped so many sharks that I'm not sure how we did it.
Well, it's a magic show. You can kind of do whatever you want. The flying thing, it just Okay, moving on. Well, stick around, guys, for our group chat.
Speaking of mommy, I'm gonna have to have some words with your mommy because I saw a photo. I saw a photo of a card, and it was a Happy Mother's Day card. And it said it had
a
like
coupon.
a little ticket. Yeah, it had a little ticket, little coupon, little golden ticket that like usually like with my kids it says I'll do the laundry for a whole day. That never happened, but it was a cute fucking thought. This one says, I had to read it twice because I didn't understand it the first time, but the second time I got it, it says you do not have to watch Charm today. And it struck me that it said do not. And I was like, wait a minute. Nay. This says she doesn't have to watch it with you today. And she was like, yes, correct. And I was like, what? I had dinner with this woman. Like I celebrated her birthday with this woman. And she was looking at me and smiling and all happy and
looking at you.
We even went to the bathroom together, for God's sakes. And she never once looked at me with any vibe like, my child force-fed me your show and it makes me want to vomit just looking at your face.
Oh, God, what happened?
I didn't get those vibes. But, she's a good actress, so I get it. I get where you get your acting skills from. And rant.
What do we rate this episode? HMC,
4.
Go. 4.
What's the scale?
1 to 10.
10.
But
1
10
to
being
10 is
problematic or
perfect. No, 10 is perfect.
perfect TV?
10 is like, no, for the show. Like 10 is Hellfire. 10 is Dead Man Dating.
10 is
They
not
don't know what
Hellfire.
any of this means.
10 is Chick Flick.
Thank you. They
No,
know.
10 is Dead Man Dating.
I'm
Nene,
tracking
you go
all of
next.
this.
What do you rate that episode that we just witnessed?
I'll give it a
You give it
6.
Why did
Oh.
you pick the
I
episode
don't
you
have to
were
kill
a
it.
6?
I didn't pick anything. I gave options. It was chosen for me.
By who?
Destiny.
BK, what do you give that episode?
French Stewart, even with his
His new Mexican accent?
Albuquerque accent. Yeah. I'm hanging it a 7. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's fun on TV. It's fun.
Weird
Dude,
shirt.
Can we please bring in the edit?
didn't
We have
lose
to bring in the edit.
And
Lose
the
that.
broken ankle that you never healed.
Yes, other plazas and BK have not seen
Okay,
the
it was a
edit. We have
2.
to
I
bring
think
it.
We'll bring in the
I'm gonna
edit.
go out again.
Let's be real.
That's true.
It's a 2.
Renee made it
Wait.
better.
Other plazas, what do you guys give it before? Like do we have?
I'm gonna give the hair a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
What else do we got?
Which hair though? I mean, there was quite a few.
Obviously one. There's only one hair that
All
was.
the I Prue's wig. It's
Mhm.
a 9. It's a 9 for me.
Yeah,
It's a
Prue's
9.
wig isn't. Yep. What about the
Braces.
episode?
The brace. I think the braces.
The braces were
She's
Ooh.
breaking
There was
it
action.
down.
There was a variety of locations.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Good
Sure,
props.
sure.
BK only had one costume change, and I don't like that. I like multiple
No.
costume
No.
change.
He had blood. Remember?
No, but that was the same costume.
On the V-neck?
He did
Yeah.
have blood.
That's
I
right.
think that's the
counts.
same. That actually counts as the same costume.
I'm impressed. You really packed a bunch in that span.
There was a lot of
You were in the
action.
park. You were in the air. You were at the restaurant. You were at home. You were at Dan's house.
It was
We
really.
also
Yeah.
had all of the
22 in a
emotions,
year.
like the full
Dan
spectrum.
technically lives right next door. Like,
Oh, and then you were
literally.
in the
Yeah.
devil world.
You got the old man with the
Yeah.
with the voice,
Underworld.
crater face.
And you had a snake. And you had a genie.
Hank.
10.
Oh.
I change it.
He
It's a
sort
10.
of recycled the snake. The snake.
I'm gonna
has been
stay in
there
the
before.
6 zone, 6.5.
P3, right.
Yeah, we were P3 on
We
the club.
barely were at P3 though. We don't.
Barely.
That's where French Stewart was
We
like,
went back a couple times.
Oh, that's true. We were in the.
you know,
back.
behind the thing.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
No.
Yeah, that feels
It's a 10.
generous.
4.
I just want more silliness. I wanted more,
More.
But it's a finale, so they have to bring the drama on the finale.
There's many accents, many ages, many outfits,
Look,
Yeah.
we had the full
Tears.
spectrum of emotion.
many powers.
There was some snot coming out
There's
of
a lot.
Phoebe's nose at some point when she was crying. That was
The
good.
menthol
Yeah.
does that to you.
Prue was dead.
Menthol sticks.
Prue died. Right, someone dies.
Love a menthol stick.
What? I mean,
think
Yeah, I
nailed
mean,
it.
what's missing?
Sex,
from
drugs,
this
and rock and
episode?
roll, babe.
No, there
No,
was
it-
sex.
I kinda had that
There was
too.
trying to be sex.
I was in the
car.
assault scene.
No, I'm saying it had all of that.
Right.
he asked, what was it
It
missing?
had the Donnie Darko sequence at night in the car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good reference. Who directed that movie?
Really?
Uh,
Stay
wait,
on
what? That's
not
target. Stay on target.
Sorry.
But the dude hasn't directed a movie in a really long time, right?
I know he hasn't. Kelly. His last name is Kelly.
David Kelly? No.
No.
I'm gonna give this episode a 2. It was not good.
Why?
I'm sorry. It was not good. It's not a good
I
episode.
told you.
We
Honestly-
actually had some real bangers this season. Straight up, there's been some A+ episodes this season. A+, where you're laughing, you're crying, you're moved, you're loving it, you're invested in the story.
I told you. You know what? I'm gonna tell Shannon you gave her episode at 2.
It's
I'm
a
just kidding.
finale. They have
Why
to bring
would you
in
do
action
that?
in the finale.
It's a
Yeah.
10. It's a 10.
I'm gonna
I will
text
say
right
this
Why
now.
would you
episode
do
was
that?
very plot heavy. It was
Put your
very
phone down.
exposition heavy.
Why are you trying to keep us apart?
So Drew gave your first directorial debut a 2 on a scale of
It's
1
over
to
for you.
10.
It's over.
That's
Uh,
great. Guess
2.
who? I can't.
You know, so
You're
that
so
means
rude.
you could only go up unless you go down to a 1.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. This is rude.
Beaky, you okay? Beaky's.
Dude, that's too
What
soon.
happened?
Too
It
soon.
fits. It fits.
He died.
I don't know about the headband look.
He's
How was
not
it too soon?
dead.
How come you
Barber.
didn't kiss in the
He's
last
not
shot?
dead. He's actually a director on the show. So don't piss him off because we want him on the podcast.
I have a
Look,
pre-hangover. You guys are headache.
The problem
I
I
hate
think
that.
with this episode is that you're usually finales of seasons have like kind of there's an expectation to deliver something pretty awesome.
Uh-huh.
And we've had some awesome leading up to this. I just feel like it kind of
They tried with the flying.
Oh wait, yeah, please. You haven't given your rating yet, and tell us why. Your rating, and then give the reasons why you like it.
And then tell me why you fucking picked this one.
I gave it a 6, didn't I?
6.
You don't even
That
remember.
happened.
It's so forgettable to you that you picked this and forgot it.
I didn't pick this.
Like
I gave you
Grandpa
options,
Dana.
and then you said, sounds
Grandpa-
good, and then I never heard again.
She wanted to do the one where you guys all turn into you get sucked into the TV.
We can do that.
Why?
I
We
think
can
Why
do
what?
it
you
again.
should bring us back,
Hey,
is what
we
it
can run
sounds
it
like.
back, but we still need. Hey, we haven't gotten everyone's
Lynchie
rating.
episode.
Who hasn't rated?
6.5.
I'm with Danny here.
I would say 7.
BK, are you back on a 7?
And everybody.
7 is an evil number.
It's a lucky number.
Literally
6
God's
is an
number.
evil.
Well, it's an
You
evil
shut your
show.
mouth, you angel demon.
By the way, it's very demonic.
Lying ass.
I, you know what? I didn't love it. But I did love it. I love French Stewart.
Say French Stewart is good. He really he was. He made like
Stop cutting the man off.
Yeah.
Give the rating.
Sorry, Beaky.
I like the time when
French Stewart put his hands in his like pants like this. That was a cool choice. I thought it was cool.
Guys, we'll have a surprise for everyone.
I don't like surprises.
Stewart to the podcast.
Is he here?
You're such a liar.
I'm such a liar.
I thought he was coming in.
That would
I
be
gave it a
amazing,
10.
though.
I said
That would've
10. He's outside. He's on the doorstep. He was like, "You have to go back in the butthole."
Oh yeah.
I got your
Oh
butt.
yeah. Why did that guy talk about buttholes?
It's because they said it with an accent. He said, "Don't touch the butthole."
Don't touch the bottle.
Don't touch the bottle.
Don't touch the
Don't
bottle.
touch the bottle.
British people, am I right?
Yeah. Every time, huh? Every time.
This episode was exhausting, and this is why
I think it
didn't
was a
watch it.
masterpiece.
Oh, you better quit.
I don't believe you
Sit down.
when you say something like that.
That's what my coupons were for.
What was the season 2 rap party like? Did you guys eat lunch together, or did you eat in your separate trailers?
Great question.
We did often eat lunch together. I think at this point we were still in our heyday where everybody was getting along, like, as seen in the last shot of that episode, Shannon
We're still
and
friends.
Alyssa were sitting in the same chair and touching. Confused. I was like, wait a minute. No director made her do that. She did that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So yeah, at this point we were still like screening the episodes at lunch, and everybody was, because I think it was on Thursdays or Fridays at this point, and we would never be home to watch the episodes when you didn't have a DVR. And so we were screening the episodes at lunch, and everybody's like, woo, woo, woo. This is what we do with our lives.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was BK included in these lunch watch parties?
Yes, he was not listening to Nickelback yet. He was also in his heyday. Actually, I don't know. The marriage was on the rocks.
Couldn't go to the lunch parties.
I think you
BK,
were
you involved?
You were in full-fledged divorce mode right now. If memory.
Busy.
Yes, because
Was I?
yeah. Because we get married soon, and yeah.
Bro.
But you guys get married?
Oh yeah.
No. I mean, where do you think you
That
come
was getting
from?
fun.
Out
Well,
of
it's true.
wedlock.
It could have been Dan.
No, he's moved on with his life.
This is not with his sperm.
Ask who the best kisser was on the show.
I was gonna ask who's like the latest. Who's the person who's always last to set? Who you were always waiting on? Like
Rose.
Rose. That tracks.
Shannon was always early.
Yeah.
Alyssa was always on time, and I was wherever the fuck I wanted to be.
Because you're the boss. Keep going with these questions. These are great. What else you got?
Which was your favorite prop? I mean, it's got to be the book, right?
No, my favorite prop was my Excalibur, was my sword. It's under the bed. That's where it lives. That's where it belongs.
Oh, Jesus.
Why, the housekeepers think it's weird, but I don't. So I tell them just to dust around
Why are
it.
they looking under there?
Like just up there. It's just up there.
Yeah, just leave it.
Hey,
Did you ever pretend to read a book like in between shots?
No.
You're like,
I
I'm
did
literary.
that. I was a
I'm reading
reader.
my book.
There wasn't as much social media then, so we couldn't sit on our phones. I mean, we played Scrabble. We did read. We were studious.
You did?
Yeah, we played Scrabble. It got ugly. Like some people wouldn't go to set.
Like with actual little pieces of wood, or
Yes.
whoa.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
I still have a couple boards. Like 2 or 3, not a lot.
By the way, that's a new reveal.
Okay, so you don't know everything about me, Drew.
I didn't even know you played Scrabble.
I'm really good at it. No, I'm not.
Wait.
I'm kidding. I just started playing.
That's a poker thing. You're pretending you're not good so you can beat everybody.
But we can see her face.
Hustling.
She has a lying
Yeah.
face too. She called me out the
Hustler.
other day for having a lying face, but look at her lying face.
Yeah, that's
This
fine.
is her lying face.
That is her lying face. Yeah, that. Freeze that.
I do have one more question.
You were
Mhm.
Whose trailer did you hang out in the most?
Yeah, who was
Who
like
was
the
like
party
the party
trailer?
trailer?
How
Mine.
do you just literally
Yeah?
the most loaded questions?
Because all the other ones are boring.
So in season 3, we were very spoiled, and they actually gave us a trailer to design for ourselves. So everybody got to like put in their own floors, their own bathrooms, their own kitchen. They were really
trying. God, I was born in the wrong time.
They literally tried to like keep us captive there. And so like we got to pick basically our own living quarters because we weren't going to go anywhere anyway for the next 9 months. So yeah, we all designed our own different.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and
that's
cool. Shannon's had the margarita machine, so that goes without saying.
Oh my God!
Frozen one, like a Slurpee machine, and and
like a mezcal margarita or like a tequila margarita.
Mezcal was not a thing then.
Did yours have a wine fountain?
No, but I should have. I mean, I just had to go next door. It was no big deal. I got to choose from all the things, but I had to choose carefully of how much time I spent in whose trailer could get uneven.
Is it true that if you were on TV in the 90s that you got Lamborghinis as rap gifts?
Maybe in the 80s. Maybe in the 80s. Maybe Magnum PI. I think he got one.
People get hoodies now.
Yeah, we get coffee cups now.
Or hats.
And I feel like I should save them because I'm like, is this going to be worth something one day? Like, I got a Pretty Little Liars backpack.
One year we got a boombox. Didn't we get like a
I want
box one day, like a big CD player?
I want one of those too,
okay.
Actually.
BK, do you have a picture of the original specimen so that we could replicate?
Of the boombox?
Oh.
No, it didn't say Charmed on it. It was like, here's just a present. They got some like Casio boombox that they handed out to people.
Danny, we want those.
90s Con gave us a tiny little boombox.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
They still love
question,
them.
Holly.
No.
I read this somewhere online.
Right.
Tell me if this is true or false.
No.
Initially, Shannon wanted to end her character after this episode, but she had already signed a contract for a 3rd season. True or false?
No.
False.
That is not true.
Oh, no.
This was at a very different time and place that she wanted to end her character. And it was not when she directed it.
So is that the end of Dan? Do we ever see or hear of him again? Is he mentioned again?
I can't spoil the things for you because then you get angry at me.
Well, you've already ruined this. Apparently, you guys go into a TV and there's a leprechaun,
never goes away.
and you get married.
Sure.
That's the one I want to see.
Yeah, you can come back.
That's when you were created. So.
Me?
The first.
And you too.
Yeah.
And you too.
Do I have a twin?
Yes.
That's Aubrey.
Yes. Yes, Chicken Little.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Girls, do you have any other questions while you have everyone? I mean, this is the finale episode.
How does the Sisters 3 Plaza decide that, or who decided, because I already know your mom hates the show, that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's is just like, did you do it just to make your mom angry? Do we watch the show just to irritate her so she leaves the room?
It doesn't take much to make Bernie angry. It's pretty...
What was the impetus?
He's a real loose cannon.
As you can tell, there's 3 sisters.
Yes.
We all have powers.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly.
So we feel spiritually connected. And on high holidays, we need to watch our show. We need to watch our stories.
I trust Renee. Renee could deliver a better answer than that.
Sorry.
Renee, how did this come about? For real? Is it like you saw the show and then you're like, oh, it's us. And then that was it. And then you made everyone role play? Like, what's the origin story of how you guys came about this?
No one was ever role playing. That didn't happen.
You guys
not on purpose.
I've seen it happen.
Who played
Not
Leo?
on purpose.
It's on your Instagram.
I don't know if I'd call that role playing.
What do you call it?
Cosplay?
I don't know. I just call it weird.
We're not shaming you here.
Just something to do to pass the time.
But the origin, no, that was weird. That was weird on purpose.
Were you the one who found it originally?
No, this is what happened, Drew.
Okay. Yes,
Third.
please.
You were in second grade.
I would run home from school, aka just from the car, because I got picked up from school, ran inside, and then
Third grade? Probably. I was
No,
probably
I was
like
in
9.
third grade. If you were in third grade, I would have been 3. So let's rewind.
You might have been 3. And I would come in, and then I would say,
In my 20s.
Mom, where's Nene? And then she would point, and Renee would be sitting 2 feet away from the TV.
Like Poltergeist.
In her Minnie Mouse chair. Just the silhouette of ears and like the top of a head. Just like a child sitting. And it would just be like, meow. And then like intro. And that's all I can remember. And then
I would go, turn that shit up and put on Me and My Shadows, the Judy Garland TV movie biopic now.
it was a disaster. This was a disaster.
And then I would make her watch Judy Garland biopic and make her repeat all the lines.
You should hang out with Rosemore. You guys would get along.
She loves that Aubrey made me memorize all these Judy Garland facts.
I know.
I told her, I was like, 1969?
It's good conversation starters when you're in the airport baggage claim.
It was
Sure.
Really not.
The age difference was really crazy. She would make Renee do so many things.
No, I wouldn't. She wouldn't. I was a baby too, you know. We were all just kids.
No.
Renee,
It was-
what did she make you do? And have
I
you
saw
gone?
Serial Mom when I was 5.
Yeah.
Is that a bad choice?
That was a bad decision on my part.
Cereal Mom, is that the one where she goes to the grocery store and buys a bunch of different cereal choices and makes her kids try them all?
No, it's the one
worse.
where she
When Kathleen Turner kills people when they wrong her children.
opens and closes her
You should-
legs in the courtroom and
you
then
should-
stabs the guy in the bathroom.
I think it was a true story.
Aubrey used to babysit sometimes, and
Please don't do this.
What else did you do to
We
me?
literally talked about this.
Okay.
We did.
Well, what else did you do to me?
Nothing.
No.
You just made me memorize Judy Garland facts. You introduced
Okay,
me to
that's
Google
innocent.
Images. I thought it was magic. You were
You
like,
tied me up in a chair.
J-Lo, green dress. And then you
Wait,
both
so-
left, and I entered the TV and made
We
new
just bring it back to
sisters.
time.
Yeah.
That's right.
But is that basically how it
I
really
am.
started? So you got hooked on it. Did you and then force them to watch it with you?
Yeah, I think they liked it at the beginning, but then they
You
just
didn't
got pissed
force
off that
us
I
to
kept
watch-
watching
You didn't
it.
force us to watch it. You just
Yeah.
took it to an extreme, and then all of a sudden it became
There it is.
a little like, well,
It became too real because
we've
I started
seen-
having
we've seen this episode
premonitions.
like a couple times, and then I started levitating.
And then you started playing it out in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Then we started
Yeah.
putting it on my
And
kitchen.
filming it
Yeah.
Then,
and editing it.
but it was a good parameter to know which one we were
Right.
at all times. Sometimes I was Prue, sometimes I was
Phoebe.
well, not it's always Phoebe. 'cause she's
Immediately
the funny
forgets all
one.
characters.
The one with the P.
I go between Prue and Piper, mostly Piper.
I thought I was Piper, but
You're Phoebe.
I don't know why, but
Are you married to a demon?
I'm married to an angel.
You just turned into Tiny Tim.
We found your Leo.
Can I have some more?
Yeah.
please.
Mm. Tiptoe away from the tulips.
Oh, speaking of Tiptoes, has anyone seen Tiptoes?
Huh?
oh yes,
More
That
than
is
once.
Yes.
Masterpiece.
Gary Oldman in a performance of a lifetime.
on a couch. He's
Yep.
so good.
Do you guys know what Tiptoes is?
I'm trying to get through The Bear, which is like talk about 22 episodes. Some of these episodes are like 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
The Bear
And I
has
just
22
don't even know.
episodes.
I don't
Long?
even know. We do. They don't. They have like infomercials of like, or maybe it's an ad, but it's an episode, but it's not. But it's my life, and then it's Mike, and then I don't know why you made me watch it.
Because it's really good. Did you
It's
get to
my
that
life.
episode where, did you go to the episode yet where it's the oneer? The whole thing's just a one shot?
Oh my god, that will make my brain explode.
It's amazing. I think
Oh
it's
no, I will
season
die.
1.
Did you have any of
episode.
those in Charmed? Anyone?
A oneer. You know, we did have in the beginning, Tom Del Ruth was our first DP, and he was the guy that did the oneers on ER. He was kind of like the guy that did the oneer through all the hallways. So we did have a few of those in the beginning.
I don't remember
No.
any.
Who's your favorite director?
Me.
Why do you have an accent?
I'm working my
She's-
character for my
she's-
play.
Yeah, she's in character.
Shannon.
I'm an Italian from the Bronx. Ever heard of the Bronx?
Huh?
Forget about it.
Forget
Wait,
about what?
Is
What do
the
you
character
mean?
from the Bronx?
Are you in the
French
Bronx?
Stewart of you.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite director?
Apart from Shannon, who always thought I could do it better than I could.
Wait, you never directed?
No.
Oh, she'd be amazing though.
No. I don't
What?
like
You
to
would
be.
be.
I don't like to be asked all the questions. I don't. I like to do my job and go home. I like producing. I like putting all the right people in the right parts in the right corners
You
and
are a
letting
producer.
them do their jobs,
Mm.
letting them go out and play in the yard. But
Mm.
no, even
Are
if
you
it's
an
a prison
introvert?
yard- Yes.
Yes.
Are you an introvert?
Yes.
BK, would you consider yourself an introvert?
Terribly.
Me too.
My job has forced me to be an extrovert, but I didn't know how else to make money.
Were you always an introvert?
Yes. I was raised by teenage parents who really didn't know how to raise another human.
See, I relate to this.
They did a great job.
I'm
We
Piper.
love you.
I am you.
Are you an introvert?
Yes.
She wore a blanket for the entire episode.
I thought that was just a comfort thing. She was feeling safe and warm.
Danny, that reminds me, we need charm blankets in the merch shop, but good ones. Woo! Send it to Aubrey because she needs a new one.
Yeah, give it to me. Is this how the episodes normally go, or
No,
Blanky pants?
Kind of.
no, I mean kind of.
Pretty
Did we
I
exciting.
don't
your
even think anyone's still
podcast?
listening.
Not yet.
Yeah, no
Edge
one's
your
really
seat.
listening at this point. They
Edge of your
definitely turned
seat.
it off.
And move.
what do you think Bulk Getty's doing right now?
Making beats in the basement.
Bulk Beats.
What do you think Roberta's doing right now? Hey,
Shut up.
I only ever did one play, and it was a John Patrick Shanley play.
Shut up.
Yeah, true story. All right, fine. I'll shut up now. Does anyone else have anything to add? Or are we done?
Play the edit.
Oh, we
I'm
don't have
so-
that.
What? You're
yeah.
highly unprepared for
What
this
edit?
episode, I just must say.
How dare you?
Can you just
There's an edit.
How dare
What's
you?
the edit?
How am I supposed to play an edit on here?
What's an edit?
Well, no, it's not.
Nene,
that.
oh yeah, we have to make an
2
announcement.
days.
Nene's birthday's in 2 days.
Yeah, what's happening for
It's
her birthday?
It's
well,
Virgo season.
It's her birthday week. Oh wait, here's the edit. Everybody.
Wow, look at her. Look at Danny go.
Do you remember what material that top was?
I
It's a
think
sweater.
I found
It's a
our
fucking
fire
sweater
breather.
vest.
Always a sweater.
dragon
Baby's
wore that.
always in a sweater
Breast
set.
plate.
Most feared
Oh, look at that.
witch killer there is. Breathe fire. Has supernatural strength. You're gonna need the power of 3 to vanquish him.
Oh my god.
Which
Oh,
we don't
what was
have right now.
that?
If I ever find
my
that
God.
genie again, I'm gonna wish him
That's
into
amazing.
oblivion.
Oh my god.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
It's Sally.
It's better.
It's Sally.
Danny did it. This is what you guys left her alone for, and you left her in the chair. He ears on, and this is what she does.
Oh my god, Sally Field, stop. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Come on.
Big moment,
Coming?
big moment. Here comes Sally. Save the day.
Is she falling?
Oh my god.
She's falling.
The flying nun would have saved her.
That's true.
She wouldn't have hit her.
Wow,
husband.
bravo. Wow. That was really good.
Thank you.
Renee, really well done. Really well edited. Very smart. I like it a lot.
I do what I can.
I understand that your sisters left you alone a lot when they were supposed to be babysitting.
Oh my god, I went to college.
No,
Give me a
that's
break.
not
They were just
true.
old.
Where'd you
They were
That's
just
not
old.
true.
Hey, where'd you go to school?
Were they like 17-year-old Prue?
Wow, you guys are. She's,
doesn't
now we know why she went into the field she went into.
Yeah.
It's her sister's fault.
This is backwards.
Is
This
it?
is backwards.
Is it?
Is it?
Aubrey and Renee used to
Power of
torture
3 will set
me.
you free. Power of the 3 will set you free.
They tied me up and then would put my chair. Yes, and they put the chair in front of the front door, and then they would order pizza. And then the pizza guy would open the door, and I would be in the chair screaming. And then she would get the
Everyone's
pizza.
a victim. Everyone's a victim in this house,
And
huh?
they would
Yeah.
go around slamming the piano keys, screaming
This
at
feels
the top
like your
of their
fault. I was
This
the
is-
youngest.
This is my trauma. So I don't want to hear that you had problems.
I was doing research for my characters.
I didn't have a problem. I jumped into the TV.
I was gonna play a mobster in the Bronx in like 20 years from then.
Yeah, I gotta know what it feels like to tie somebody up.
I need to hear the screams in my soul. In my soul, I want to hear them.
Look at her. Professionals, you two.
Look, the bottom line is Charms saved us, okay?
The Charms did?
Charms brought us together. Charms brought us together as a family.
Are we watching it this Christmas, or we're all tapped
Yes,
out?
we have to.
No, we watch it
What happened?
Christmas morning.
We have to watch Charm before we're allowed to open our presents. Stop what's going on around here.
Wow. Do you really make
Who
them do
made
that,
this
Nene?
rule? Because I know it wasn't your mother.
Are you going to watch that episode that we just watched again?
No, I'm probably gonna watch the Leprechaun one.
Aubrey, there's no evil leprechaun. You're
I
imagining
remember
this.
No, I think there
remember.
might be.
There is one. There is one.
No. There's one with the Wendigo.
Yeah.
No. Thank you.
It's incorrect in many forms.
The creature.
It's the
That was a long time ago. You missed that one.
The Wendigo.
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 Tell you Wendigo, okay?
It's the Wendigo.
Am I crazy, or was there not a
Yes.
Wendigo?
No, there was.
Yes.
There wasn't a
Did it have a hat?
Wendigo.
Holly turns into a werewolf.
Turned.
Okay, I
That
do
was
remember
the
this.
first season.
A Wendigo.
Not
A Wendigo.
Was there anything that you did in the show that truly
Wendigo.
horrified you? Like when you looked in the mirror?
Like makeup wise, or just like internally? Like
Both.
what am I doing with my life kind of thing?
There was
Both.
well, I didn't have to fly around like that. I mean, that would have done me in. The flying nun would have done
You
me.
got the better effects.
Yeah,
were the wires here and here?
Well,
wires.
Pepper was always in control of her.
I know
There
I
was
did
no wires.
wires once. I can't remember for what episode. It was definitely a year where I just kind of threw in the towel and gave
Was
up.
that the one that me and Aubrey remade? When Shannon's flying in the air.
Yeah, I mean,
She's like doing flips.
Guys,
Well,
I think we did it.
We learned a lot.
So this has been a wild season.
Merry
What a-
Christmas, Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. What a finale.
Haggy New Year.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas,
you
am
can
I
see
right?
birthday.
So how do you choose what episode that you're going to watch Christmas morning while your mother holds your presents hostage?
We usually get multiple choice.
Renee holds our presents hostage.
No, I think we get choice.
Huh?
We get choices.
You get to like
You
watch
get-
and
yeah.
open at the same
We get-
time. Can you
No, we have to
multitask?
watch before we open.
No.
You know multitasking.
No.
No,
you can really drive
full
it.
attention.
Must finish
Yes, full
episode, then
attention.
open.
We're on a tight
presents.
ship over there.
There's only 3 seats on the couch, so one of us has to sit on the floor.
We are allowed to eat cinnamon buns while we watch the episodes.
Okay.
Like from the original Cinnabon place.
Food is
No,
allowed.
just the ones from the microwave.
Right. The food is allowed. So what happens if, per se, you can't watch an episode Christmas Day or Eve? Like, is
It's
it
not
bad?
We
possible.
have to.
Well, why would that happen?
I'm just
That's
saying,
blasphemy.
but there could be like
Why are
a
you
power
creating a negative?
outage, and you lose Wi-Fi or the VHS.
We have
tape
to be
or-
good
But
children.
that's what the
We have to be
DVDs
good
are for.
children. Go home.
Oh, you got the DVDs? You got the real music? That's nice.
I am
Thank you so much for
human
checking
and I
out today's
want to
episode.
Why are you
be
thanking me?
yours.
Hallowell.
Why are you thanking me?
It's been
House
real.
of Plazawell?
The
House of
House of
Plaza.
Plaza.
This has been a special edition of House of Plazawell. Who will be joining us next season. They've all agreed to come back. Thank you girls so much. We're so excited for your
Only
next
on
episode.
Christmas Day, though.
Do you
'Cause-
promise to have us back?
Yeah.
Tempt me with a good time.
We'll have our.
Sorry
people
about
for
all
your
the technical
Christmas.
difficulties. We don't know how to do the computers.
You look great. You look great.
Roberta,
You're
listen,
doing
hey,
fine to
real
me.
talk. You guys cannot close that computer. Like when we're done, whatever computer
It's on her
is going
wall.
on,
What is she going to close?
do not close anything. I
There
will
you go.
text you guys when you're free. Of like you just it needs to upload for a while.
No,
Download
thank
the
you.
podcast. Even if you don't listen to it, just download it. If like on your Apple or Spotify or your Google Music or your Amazon, follow it. You got to follow it, and then it automatically downloads it.
I don't like how bossy you're being tonight. We just really don't.
Was I being bossy?
No, you're really bossy.
Really bossy?
Yeah. Rate it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Rate it and forget it.
Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Are we embarrassing you?
Not at all.
No, you're hurting my fucking ears.
Only next time you have to bring your wigs if you're gonna play.
Oh yeah, and maybe like do the tie-up reenactment thing on the chairs.
Well,
Guys,
now
we love
it's
you. Thank you so much.
photos or it didn't happen.